Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and today I'm going to do another floral arrangement with you today. I'm still in Charleston on vacation, so I found a few local things to bring into the arrangement. If I can find more on the streets later, I will. So let's get started. Okay, well we're going to get started now. I've got some pink and white flowers. It's almost Valentine's Day. You can see by this packaging that was kind of the only options that I had. But I found some beautiful ranunculus to put in, and this was a find on the street yesterday. I'm in downtown Charleston. This little branch had freshly fallen out of a tree. I'm not picking them off the tree, but I wanted to incorporate that for some local flavor into this. So I'm going to stick it there right now. I know I want it to be very visible, but since it's on its own, it might not want to stay just yet. And see, it's giving me some problems. For some greens, I found some eucalyptus. So we will put this in. If you get eucalyptus, just make sure you're not getting the kind with the round leaves. They're very stiff. If you're getting it for the scent and you got a tall arrangement, fine, but they're very hard to work with if you're just doing a regular small size arrangement. So I'm going to pick apart the flowers that we do have. This is, we always called them at my grandma's hens and chickens, so just a variety of acetum. It is on a plastic container or little stem here, so once I decide where we are going to put it, I'm just going to snap it off. It might not be short enough yet, but I just snapped that to the length I wanted. We have a few different white mums. Remember, mums are great because they are long lasting. So not much in this bouquet other than the mums, and then we have some pink Alstroemeria. Again, a very long-lasting flower, so that will be great. Our ranunculus, maybe not so long-lasting. I think I kind of bought them at the end, but beautiful combination. They open up nice and large and are very pretty. I found this new crock yesterday. It's white. It'll be perfect for flowers, any different type. I'll also find other uses for it once I get home as well. So for some reason we lost the kitchen shears that were here, so I got a regular pair of scissors I'm going to use for my cutting device. Again, if you saw my last video, no paring knives here that are the least bit sharp. So cut on an angle. Angle allows more water to get into your stem. I'm going to start with my Alstroemerias. It's just a great filler flower. If I ever buy a mixed bouquet and it's small, I always like to try to buy another package of something that would be ideal for a filler flower. So I'm going to cut these all about the same length as far as their stems and get those in there. And now we can start placing our other items in. This second batch of mixed bouquet had mums too, a little bit different than our first ones, more like a daisy mum. You can see the difference. They'll work very nicely together. Any leaves that might be under the water level, you're going to want to remove. And sometimes even these are just sticking out. They end up good for just putting in at the side at the end. So I'm going to treat this like a filler flower as well. I always like to think of going around kind of like a star shape. Get our things evenly placed. You can always vary from that. Things don't have to be symmetrical. They don't need to be the same, but if you're just getting started and you're not sure what to do, by just going around in a circle like that can help. So now it's kind of all around. Now I'm going to go ahead and add these other daisy style mums in here. Again, I'm getting rid of all these extra leaves. They just end up rotting if they're under the water level. Ideally, you could change your water each day. I don't have the desire to take that amount of time, but that would be ideal for the flowers to help them to last longer. So there we have some pinks and whites in there. We're going to fill in with some more things. So my stem is not very long on this piece of live oak, but I want it to be predominant in my arrangement. So I am going to put it right in the center here, but I need to make sure I keep that water level right at the top. Otherwise it will not get water. I'm also going to use this as a focal spot too. I'm going to put this in the center, a little bit of an angle, and put that in there. Now if I have extra flowers, I still have my other pink vase that I can use to fill up. So I'm going to use some of these carnations to add some more pink in spots. If they're closed like this, you can kind of forcibly open them up just like that. This one's not real big. Sometimes you could have a big one that's going to make a big difference if you open it up. And they will eventually open up, I'm sure. Again, just to get some more color in the arrangement, open that up. Find another spot for some pink. I've got one more pink carnation I can use here. Get the stem, open this up. Kind of place it in. Now I'm going to try to place a couple of these ranunculus. They have a nice little bud next to it. It might not go in the arrangement too well like that, so I'm going to separate it. Give them a fresh cut on the angle. Even if I put them in next to one another, they're going to go in separately as far as the stem goes. When we start getting tight, it's harder to put these in. A bit of a delicate stem on a ranunculus because it is hollow. So be careful you don't bend it while you're forcing it in there. Here's a bigger one. I'm going to put this in the top as well. So I have a nice bright spot of pink. There we go. Turn it around. Make sure I'm liking where the placement is. You can always change something after too if you're not happy with it. This one you can see is very drapey. I'm going to put it at the side so that it kind of falls, just so I get that. Sometimes if I'm picking flowers, I don't always get a choice of what's available if I haven't special ordered something. Again, very drapey, so I'm going to use this on the side. And then when we put our greens in, we'll get some extension with those as well. So there's a couple pink roses in this patch, nice and bright, so you get a little bit different color pink going in here. And before I get too carried away, I want to show you the other item that I want to add to this. Here I have my tray with my different branches that have the lichen moss on them, and I thought the colors would be so pretty, it would add an extra texture. So in a few spots, and this, they won't need the water, so they can be put anywhere. I found these branches from some live oak trees on the ground. I put them in the oven for an hour at 200 just to make sure if there's any bugs in there, they'd be killed. They're gonna match really nicely with the pink flowers and the greens that I have going. So just want to try something that was local, and this is what I found. I've been seeing these all week on walks, thinking I wanted to use these. Just add something different, a little bit different texture to your arrangement. And now here's the eucalyptus leaves. A little floppy, not terribly, but I'm going to use those at the sides. It's a little too stiff, I couldn't break it with my fingers. Put that in. There is a bit of a scent to this. You want to be careful with anything that has scent, that maybe you don't want it on your kitchen table or your dining table. Not only for allergies, but just to compete with your food that you've cooked. I'm just going to spin this around and put these around the edges. And a lot of times I will start with the greens if I have plenty of greens for fillers. These leaves don't look too good, so I'm just going to pull those right off. We got one more. I think I'm going to save this for my pink vase because if there's any extra flowers. So I am going to, this green, and I'm sorry, don't know what it is. This was in our mixed arrangement. So again, I need to pull these stems that are going to be in the water out. Go ahead and put one coming up. It makes it our arrangement just a little bit taller here. I've got one more like that. Again, because it's a short arrangement, a lot of this is going to be, just have to be wasted. I'm going to put this in the side here. And then I think I've got a lot of green right here, so I'm going to keep this whole like this and put this on the other side. Get rid of these extra loose ones, just to kind of balance that out a bit. There we go, we have one more mum I could put in. So I think maybe this week I won't be using the little pink vase, and that's okay. Go ahead and put that in. Put that in a little bit farther. One more pink rose. This ranunculus got a bit buried by this green, so I'm going to pull this out. Same with my live oak that I wanted to show. So I think my pink rose, that might end up just going into my pink vase, and I'll find some greens and stuff to go with it after. This bad petal here, you can easily grab just that one petal and pull it off. And then it is all set. And there you have it. More can be added. If you didn't want this many flowers in there, it wouldn't have to have that many either. Since this is a larger arrangement, I'm going to let it sit on the kitchen table here. It looks pretty. I love the crock. I love the new vase that I'll have to use for many years. I love this lichen covered branches in here. The colors are perfect. Great Valentine colors. I've always been a pink person anyways. Remember, you can have things sit deeper within the arrangement, even though this sedum gets covered up a bit by the live oak. It just gives it a nice texture. I'm going to throw in one more little thing for our table. If the grandkids were here, they'd be thrilled that Grandma left out some Hershey's Kisses for them to eat and to enjoy. It just kind of adds a little bit more to the plain table if you so desire. Have fun in your own creations.